understanding the codes within, a channeled reflection on manifestation, inner chaos, and the soul's architecture. 1. It's not just about words. Now that I really sit with it, I realize that things don't just appear, not even just through words. Speaking something over and over again doesn't automatically bring it into form. Repetition doesn't guarantee creation. There's a deeper working underneath the surface of a language, a mechanism or intelligence that goes beyond affirmations or spoken intentions. I can feel it. Something more subtle, more ancient is involved in shaping what we call reality. We may use words as tools, but the real work happens in layers we rarely access consciously. 2. How do the names and the chaos work together? So then I start to wonder, how do the inner codes, the ones referred to in mystical traditions as Shemot, the names, the divine codes, work in harmony with what we experience as chaos? This chaos, what's traditionally called Tohu, it's not just disorder out there in the world. Down here on the densest level of human life, it's emotional chaos, mental fragmentation, depression, sadness, disconnection. It's the state of being that feels uncentered, confused, and stuck. That's the real chaos, not war or noise or destruction, but the internal fragmentation that keeps us from remembering who we are. So if this internal chaos, this emotional and energetic disarray exists here, what does that same energy look like in the higher realms? Because it must exist up there too, but in a very different form. What if, in its higher expression, this chaos is not brokenness, but pure potential, energy that hasn't been given shape yet, raw, luminous, undirected light. It's not even formed yet. It just is. It's power that hasn't been filtered through structure. It's not bad. It's too pure, too infinite to be held in a limited human vessel without some kind of adjustment. 3. The mind is where the chaos lives. If we bring this down to where we live, our day-to-day experience, this chaos shows up as the mind's disorder. The mind becomes a kind of trap. It loops, it obsesses, it doubts, it judges. It holds the soul hostage in a narrow framework of belief. When I speak about Tohu here, I'm really speaking about this experience of mental and emotional fragmentation, that feeling that your consciousness is confined, as if locked inside something that doesn't reflect your true self. It creates inattention, sadness, restlessness. And this can go on for years, even lifetimes, until the soul begins the work of remembering its way out. 4. The inner codes are not what we think they are. Now the names, the Shemot, they're not names like we normally think of them. These aren't just sacred words or titles we recite. They're not religious or even linguistic. They are codes. They are intelligent frequencies, patterns of energy. They are the instructions for how to realign with our original blueprint. These codes don't tell us what to do. They activate what already lives inside us, and they wake up soul memory. They help us untangle from the chaos of the mind. So when I ask how the names and chaos work together to manifest desires, I'm really asking, how do we use our inner codes to bring light into the disordered places within us? Because this emotional chaos, this fragmentation, is not the enemy. It's part of the design. It's the material the soul works with. And the inner codes, the divine instructions, are what help us navigate out of the mess. They are like internal software that helps reprogram the distortion. The codes come from within. The chaos is also within. And healing is the process of letting those codes reorder the fragmentation into something aligned, conscious, and whole. 5. Why the vessel can't always hold the light. Here's the challenge. The human vessel, the mind, the nervous system, the body, can't always hold the full potency of that raw divine light. In the higher realms, that light is pure and unfiltered. Down here, it needs form, it needs preparation. When the vessel isn't ready, the light doesn't land. Or if it does, it breaks us open. So what we often call manifesting is really about learning how to clear the blocks within ourselves that prevent that higher energy from flowing in cleanly. This is what's known in some traditions as soul correction, but even that phrase can sound heavy or judgmental. It's not punishment, it's process. It's the soul's way of slowly adjusting the vessel so that it can eventually hold more light, more wisdom, more love, more truth. It's the slow refining of our ability to receive. 6. The chaos of the mind is the map. So what is this chaos of the mind really showing us? It's not random, it's a mirror. It reflects where the inner wiring has gone off course. And the only way to move forward is to engage with it, not avoid it. We need to ask, what am I afraid to feel? What belief is still ruling my inner world? What memory is still frozen inside me, pulling energy backward in time? Sometimes this chaos is not just emotional, it's ancestral or even collective. It's part of the human experience of being cut off from source. But the moment we begin to see this inner chaos not as a flaw but as a signal, we begin the journey back to wholeness. We start to tap into what you could call the original blueprint, that state before distortion, before fragmentation. And this work is not abstract, it's in the body, in the breath, in the thoughts that rise and fall. This is the beginning of the soul's realignment. 7. The mind and body as the temple. When ancient traditions describe sacred spaces, temples, altars, veils, they're not just talking about external architecture, they're describing us. The red, blue, and purple veils in the ancient tabernacle, they correspond to layers of our perception, our nervous system, our inner sight. The altar isn't just a place of sacrifice, it's the part of us that burns away what is no longer aligned with soul, and what remains: clarity, memory, truth. Each part of our spiritual anatomy is waiting to be awakened. Our physiology isn't separate from our spiritual function. It's the hardware through which divine software runs, and much of that software is dormant, underdeveloped, waiting for us to grow into it. This is why soul development takes time. Certain attributes, like inner knowing, love, courage, discernment, can only activate once we've cleared enough of the false programming that came from fear, trauma, ego. 8. Divine breath and the awakening of the self. When we take our first breath, something divine enters, something beyond biology. Life isn't just mechanical, it's spiritual animation. The divine breath, what some call pneuma, doesn't just oxygenate the body. It begins the process of a consciousness formation. But to truly awaken into spiritual intelligence, we must go beyond breath alone. We must open the mind to spiritual thought, insight, and remembrance. This is how we become truly alive, when the body, the breath, and the divine memory come online together. So many aspects of the self remain asleep until this process unfolds. You are not just mind and body. You are spirit, soul, memory, intelligence, and presence. And within you are the same divine attributes that exist in the structure of the cosmos itself. They are just mixed at first, unconscious, scattered. But once they begin to emerge from that hidden state, you begin to feel what's real, what's true, what was always there. 9. Reframing manifestation. It's not making, it's becoming. Which brings me back to the word manifestation. I don't even know if I like the word anymore. What are we really doing when we try to manifest? Are we asking, pushing, forcing something to happen? Or are we aligning with something that already wants to come into being through us? What we call manifestation might be better described as revealing what's already encoded within us. pressing through from the superconscious into form. It's not wish-making, it's not magic, it's the process of becoming ready to receive and embody what already exists on another level of reality. Everything we see here is just a projection, a kind of holographic echo. The real energy is elsewhere. Manifestation then is really about preparing the vessel of the body, the heart, the mind to carry something sacred and real. Final thoughts. What's being remembered? All of this, the codes, the chaos, the sacred architecture of self, is not new. It's not something we need to invent or earn. It's something we're remembering. The divine breath is already in us. The original pattern is already laid. The healing isn't about becoming someone else. It's about undoing what never belonged, so what was always true can return.